This monochromatic landscape painting is an excellent way to learn how to use acrylic paint. If you love art, don't forget to subscribe. I upload art tutorials almost weekly. These paintings are nighttime winter landscapes with the option of putting snow on your branches. The first technique is mixing tints, and a tint is a base color mixed with white. First step is painting your moon. I always do a full moon because I want my landscape to have lots of light, but I've had students do crescent moons that look really cool and unique. The next thing you do is clean your brush, which you're going to be doing a lot. Acrylic paint is thick, so I always wipe my brush on a paper towel so that I can use the thick acrylic paint and not the water. Add a scoop of your base color and swirl it all the way around your mixing cup until it's completely changed into your lightest tint. I always scrape my brush on the edge so I'm not wasting any paint at all. Then you're going to swirl around your moon with a nice clean, smooth brush stroke to create your first tint around your moon. You will be cleaning your brush every single time. Always twirl it on the end to make a point and to get out the extra water, and never pull or touch the bristles of your brush. Take another scoop and mix your second tint, which is going to gradually get darker. Make sure your paint isn't marbled or stripy, but it's all the way mixed, and test your tint. Mine didn't change a whole lot, but I'm going to clean my brush again. I'm going to wipe it dry, and I'm going to try another scoop. As you add more paint to your mixing cup, you might add bigger scoops each time, or sometimes double or even triple scoop as you go. There you go, you can see it's slightly darker. And then you just repeat the same steps. Wash your brush, dry your brush, mix a tint, paint it around, rinse and repeat. Let's speed things up. Sometimes there's so much paint in your mixing cup that it might not change even if you double or triple scoop. What you see me doing is just slightly mixing in the edge of my mixing cup and not mixing the whole thing. But you want to kind of save that technique for the very end, or it's going to be hard to get darker as you go. The next step is drawing your branches, and practice, practice, practice. I start with a line, and then I make it look like a Harry Potter or a magician's wand, and I always try to do the rule of 3. So for every branch, I add 3 sub-branches, then I add 3 sub-branches to that. Now, rules are made to be broken, but the rule of 3 on 3 makes my branches interesting enough without making them too overwhelmingly complicated. I think that point looks awkward, so I'm going to give him a couple friends, a couple sub-branches, so he looks more like a branch and not like an angry magician wand. Now for the truly scary part. You have this beautiful background with tints that you worked hard on, and now it's time to draw on top of them. You can erase over paint, as long as you draw lightly and don't try to erase the whole thing, because your paint will pull. Start with one long line, and then add a second line to make it a 3D shape. Remember the rule on 3. You're going to do your biggest 3 sub-branches first, and then you're going to make them 3D by adding a second line. 3 sub-branches on those branches, and then check your work to see what you need to add or change. Pretend like you are walking through the forest in the night and you're looking up at the moon. So you're not looking down at the forest floor, you're looking up, and so these aren't tree trunks that you're drawing, they're overhanging branches that are extending down from the trees. I like to start with my biggest one first down on the bottom of the page, and then I add at least one, but usually more, medium-sized branches that extend from the sides or edges of my paper. From there, I move on to the top where my smallest branches are overhanging. So if you're looking up towards the moon, these small branches are overhanging from a bigger branch in your field of vision. Once you start painting, you want to feel very comfortable with your branch placement and the style of your branches. The more time you spend drawing your branches, the less stress you're going to have when it's time for the permanent black acrylic paint, which is the next step. now, for the scariest part of all, black acrylic paint on top of your beautiful background of all the branches that you've already drawn. You want to have a pointy brush with not a lot of paint on the tip. You're going to start at your thickest part of your branch and you're going to pull going one direction with your brush. Dip your brush in the paint as often as you need to, but keep in mind if you turn your brush, there will be paint on the bristles that you haven't accessed yet. Try to go from left to right because that's the way we write, or at least that's the way we write here. And so if you're just pulling one direction, your branches are going to be smooth, elegant, without a shaky hand. I mean, your hand is going to shake a little bit, but that's the best way to maintain a smooth line. I like to turn my painting as I go, so I'm always kind of going the same direction that my hand is used to. Slow and steady. I also do my biggest branches first because I'm really intimidated by the small little branches and I want my hand to be warmed up and used to the movement before I do it on the areas that are really small and difficult to begin with. That took lots of concentration. Let's speed things up. Voila! The next step is painting snow and stars. For this step, we're gonna flip that paintbrush handle over and we're gonna use the handle of the paintbrush instead of the bristles. I like to use the handle because it's controlled, it's even sizes, and I feel like it just looks like stars or snow because of the circular orb-like shape that it consistently creates. I'm not tapping it on the table. I'm slow and controlled, but I just like the effect. You certainly could use the tip of your bristles, but I don't always have a lot of control. Sometimes I just make a mess, and I find this to be the easiest way to get the star effect I'm looking for. My motto for this step is less is more. You don't want to go crazy and make this crazy blizzard that covers up all of your hard work. I will say though, when I painted this, we had just had a snowstorm in Oklahoma City, and I was really influenced by the snow that was literally outside the window while I was painting this. I added quite a lot of dots, and at first I was like, oh, it's a little much, but I think for the effect of a winter nighttime landscape, I'm happy with how it looks. Now, speaking of winter, when I painted this, we had our first winter storm and there was snow built up on all the branches outside. An optional but really satisfying last step is painting a small thin line on top of your branches. Try at first to stay on the flattest branches or the V-shaped branches. Think if it was snowing, where would the snow fall and collect? If you used a dark color, especially gray, this is going to make your branches just pop and really stand out from your background. This is also a great time to touch up your moon while you have white paint on your brush. If you want it brighter, if the shape is awkward, get in there and get your moon bright the way you want it. And here's the finished work of art. This monochromatic nighttime landscape is a great way to learn how to use acrylic paint and to sharpen those skills if you already know how. Don't forget, visit my website at thatartteacher.com for full lesson plans, rubrics, and student examples.